From Victory Church, Apaka.
We have chosen to use Judges 16:13 through 30 from the New King James Version in the Holy Bible.
We hope you enjoy a haircut. Delilah said to Samson,
"Until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me what you may be bound with."
Then he said to her,
If you weave my hair with the 7 locks into the head of the loom.
So she wove it tightly with the batten of the loom. Then she said to him,
"The Philistines are upon you, Samson."
but he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the batten and the web from the loom. Then she said to him,
"How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies."
And it came to pass, when she pestered him daily with her words, and pressed him so that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart, and said to her,
No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man.
When Delilah saw that he told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying,
"Come up once more, for he has told me all his heart."
So the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hand. Then she lulled him to sleep on her knees, and she called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. And she said,
"The Philistines are upon you, Samson."
so he awoke from his sleep and said,
I will go on as before at other times and shake myself free.
but he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Then the Philistines took him and put out his
Eyes!
and brought him down to Gaza. They bounded him with bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaven. Now the lords of the Philistines were gathered together to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god, and to rejoice. And they said,
"Our God has delivered into our hands Samson, our enemy."
and when people saw them, when people saw him, they praised out to their God, for they said,
"Our God has delivered into our hands our enemy, the destroyer of our land, and the one who multiplied our dead."
So it happened, when their hearts were merry, that they said,
"Call for Samson, that he may perform for us."
so they called for Samson from the prison, and he performed for them. And stationed him between the pillars. Then Samson said to the lad who held him by the hand,
Let me feel the temple, and let me feel the pillars which support the temple, so that I can lean on them.
Now the temple was full of men and women. All the lords of the Philistines were there, about 3,000 men and women on the roof watching while Samson performed. Then Samson called to the Lord, saying,
O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray. Just this once, O God, that I may with one blow take vengeance on the Philistines for my 2 eyes.
And he took hold of the 2 middle pillars which supported the temple, and he braced himself against them, one on his right, the other on his left. Then Samson said,
Let me die with the Philistines.
and he pushed with all his
Might. Ah! And the temple fell on all the lords and all the people who were in it.
So the dead that he killed in his death were more than he killed in his life.